This is a true story. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a bag of chips, and let's get started. Back in the summer of 2006, I was in my hometown for the summer break. My friends had all returned from their various universities too, and after a big night out, I was suffering hard with my hangover the following morning. My family had a beautiful rescue Springer Spaniel that we liked to take for a walk in the forest that was a 15-20 minute drive from our house. I was considering staying home, but I figured the walk would probably be the best hangover cure, so I decided to join them. We pulled up on the dirt track where most dog walkers parked, but it was particularly quiet today and we were the first ones. We had walked about 20 feet before I realized this was not the cure I had hoped for, vomited on my path, and decided it would be best to go back to the car. My brother gave me his phone to play games on, as mine was very basic, and my mom gave me the car keys telling me they shouldn't be too long. Once I was in the car, I locked the doors and nestled down in the back seat, opting for a nap to try to sleep off the nausea. I was in a very light sleep and I suddenly felt very uneasy, like I was being watched. My eyes shot up and there was a man staring at me from the other side of the window. After the initial shock, I smiled and put up my hands as if to say, "Don't worry, I'm alive," as I thought that might be his concern about me. His expression didn't change. Still staring at me, he then began to walk around the car. I felt painfully aware that I was in a glass cube with nowhere to hide. As he circled the car, I shifted around, keeping him in my line of sight. He bent down and, while staring at me dead in the eye, he tried to open the door handle and released it with a hard snap. I desperately searched my foggy morning thoughts and was momentarily relieved that I had locked the doors as I had got in the car. He then continued his second loop of the car, trying each and every door, snapping the handles one by one. My blood ran cold. The brief reassurance of the door locks crumpled away as I realized how easily he could get to me if he tried. A wave of panic had me wanting to run. I'm usually the person watching the scary film, questioning why the lead character is making all these stupid decisions that almost gets them killed. But now I totally get it. You can't think clearly. Fight or flight sets in, and it goes against everything to just sit and wait. Then he turned and went to the back of our car where he had parked his large white van. He had opened up the doors and started rooting around for something. I started to try and think of what to do. I considered calling 911, but what would I say? There's a man looking at me. I felt like I wouldn't be taken seriously. I didn't want to beep the car horn as I was worried I would be bringing someone else into it, especially my mom or brother. I decided to call my friend. I don't know why, but I just felt that telling someone was much better than nothing. I told my friend the situation and gave as much details as I could. I couldn't see his number plate as he was parked too close, but I told her what he looked like, where I was, and a rough description of the van. He slammed the doors of his van and was heading back when another car pulled up. Another dog walker. The van man got back in the van and drove off. And I cried. My friend calmed me down and I saw my mom and brother were heading back. So I hung up the phone. They got into the car and I just sat there, silent, not knowing where to start with what just happened. While they were setting the dog up in the car, I watched the traffic pass and the same van man drove past, scouting the car to see if I was alone once more. When he was finally out of sight and my family was back in the car, I opened up about what had happened while sobbing. They were shocked and my mom called the local police and reported what had happened, at least to warn others about the man. Other people had reported someone matching the description, saying he had followed them through the woods before they quickly managed to get back in their cars and drive off. To the white van man that tried to get in the car, let's not meet ever again. That was insane. Again, this was a true story submitted by Candy for Cuties. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. This was also my first narration. I hope to do more in the future, so stay tuned and stay safe.